If you've ever wondered what the heck you actually said at the end of that party,
or wanted a do-over button for those cringe-worthy encounters,
then you've experienced what we call the joy of awkwardness.
I'm Mindy.
And I'm Bree.
And we're here to celebrate the awkward.
Embrace the awkward.
And remind you of one important thing.
You may be awkward,
but you're definitely not alone.
Well, that was awkward. Hi, Mendy.
Hi, Bree. Nice to see you again in the studio.
Nice to see you again in the Bree Hive.
Do you have any awkward stories to share with our listeners and me?
Oh, gosh. You know, I don't have an awkward story, but I have an awkward, field. And that field is money.
Oh, God.
I've had to have a lot of, money talks. Ugh. You know, billing and pricing things out and paying people and getting paid by people and all of that. And it's all fine. It's part of being a grown-up, but I feel like I've gotten to the point where I can talk about just about anything else. But that's still really awkward.
Yeah. That reality.
Oh, yeah. Reality is awkward.
Bank accounts are awkward.
Bank account is depressing. The awkwardness is having to talk about money. You know, I don't think that everybody feels that way.
Do you mean with clients, with family, or all of it?
All of it. Yeah. Anyone. Money is awkward. No, money is not awkward. Talking about money is awkward.
Talking about money is awkward. That's right. Keep our money talk positive. Money is great. Money is everywhere. Money is plentiful. Money comes to me easily.
See, it's not awkward to talk to you about this. How about you, Mendy? Have you had any awkward moments this week?
I do. So many. Of course, it's the beginning of school, and that's always a little awkward getting to know everyone. But as always, my kids are such sweethearts. I can say it's about to get awkward for some of my friends who have invited me to join the Marco Polo app. Have you heard of that?
I've heard of it, but I don't know what it is. Can you explain it to me?
Well, I don't use it very often because, goodness gracious, I don't need anything else taking my attention. But it is an app where you just record a little video and send it to a friend. So if you haven't seen someone in a while, they get a video clip from you, and it's super sweet. And you trade back little video messages, and you check them when you can. But what's about to get awkward about it is that I just realized that's the perfect way to send my friends who are on Marco Polo a daily fart.
How do you plan to send somebody a fart? What will you do?
Grab the phone, hit record, do a fart, click send.
So they're going to see your butt?
Yeah, maybe. That's a bonus. I'm keeping it tight.
Note to self, no Marco Polo. Mendy, we're about to go on a trip together. I'm very excited about it. We're going to do some recording on location.
Awkward location.
On our awkward location. But you told me that today's story has some travel involved.
Yes, nice segue.
So why don't we get into that one?
Well, first of all, Bree, have you ever had one of those relationships that's on again, off again, like a boomerang? They just keep coming back. Like someone who gave you at one point a full coupon book full of blank checks for bumping, and you keep going back to each other to cash them. Like a linger log of a lover. You ever had one of those?
A linger log?
A linger log. You know what linger log is?
No.
Oh, I think Mr. Hinky from South Park is a linger log. I don't want to be gross. So if you do something that you need to make go away in your bathroom, but there's one little buddy that hangs around. Yeah.
A linger log.
So a linger log lover.
A linger log lover.
I'm going to write a song called My Linger Log Lover. All right. Any relationship that's on and off like a strobe light in a German disco, girl.
Romantic relationship.
Romantic. Yes.
No, I came out of the womb practically married to Jeff. So no.
Well.
How about you?
No. Oh my gosh. No. You have to absolutely love me or be gone. Pick. No takebacks. No sea pirates. Well, our awkward story today comes from someone we will call Matthew. And his boomerang romance began in his junior year of college. He is hanging out, and a friend asks him to come to a game of pickup basketball one afternoon. And Matthew's not really into it until his friend says, "But Sophia will be there." Now, Sophia is the girl that all the guys, well, and girls, have a crush on.
Mm-hmm.
She's hot. Mm-hmm. She's tall. She's confident. Just real, real hot stuff. Did you have anyone like that in school?
At my high school, which was an all-girls boarding school, there was a girl named Nancy Hilliard. She was in my grade. I love Nancy. Every guy had a crush on Nancy.
Oh, that like the janitors and the professors. Where'd the boys come from?
The boys who came from the boys' school.
Oh, okay. Whoa.
All the guys, all two.
All two of them.
Yeah. The headmaster. No. No, this could go so terribly awkward. No, Nancy was tall, beautiful. She was cool. She was easy to hang out with. She had a smokehouse pass. That was a big deal.
Is this for cigarettes or barbecue?
It's for cigarettes.
Whoa. How do you get the smokehouse pass? Do you have to like throw a real terrible Nick fit? And they're like, you know what? You're being a big old bee without your Virginia Slims. You get to go to the smokehouse.
No, your parents had to give you permission.
Oh, dang.
My parents gave me permission
to go to the smokehouse.
Yes. I was like, Mother, why did you give me permission to go to the smokehouse? She said, because I knew you'd never do it.
Did you ever look? I would want to look and like, is everything yellow?
Totally went and hung out in there. Yeah.
What was in there? Was it naughty?
It was just like a cement garage without doors on it. So it was open air.
Oh, okay.
But it had some benches. All the cool kids sat there and I tagged along every now and then.
I can't believe you had a smokehouse. Oh my
Anyway,
gosh.
So that was Nancy Hilliard.
So we had somebody like that in junior high. He dated a different girl every week and he was super popular because his hair was just like Vanilla Ice's. Like it was tall and dyed with some blonde in it.
Oh, yeah.
But I feel like you have to make quite a splash with everything you've got going on to be that girl in college, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of fish in the sea making splashes.
So that's what Sophia was. Sophia was the Vanilla Ice lookalike mixed with Nancy Hilliard.
Sophia is that girl. And Matthew's like, oh, heck yeah, I'd love to go play some basketball. So he goes down there. They play basketball. She's like dunking on him and he's whatevering with basketballs that you do with her.
Dribbling all over her?
Dribbling all over her. And they totally hit it off. One thing leads to another. They hook up and they start dating.
All right.
Junior year of college.
Sports ball. Good for something.
Sports ball. Yay. But when summer rolls around, she's headed off to her family's second home in Paris.
Oh, my.
Oh, my. So they decide to be realistic about the whole long-distance situation, and they decide that they can date other people that summer. Their motto becomes, when we are together, geographically, we are together. When we are not together, geographically, we're not together.
How together geographically does it need to be? Is it like when we're in the same room geographically, we're together? Or is it like when we're in the same town or when we're in the same country?
Maybe it's a horizon. If you could look to the horizon and see them, then it's going to happen tonight for you.
I'm feeling like the awkwardness is beginning right now for these two.
Well, they're apart for the summer. Mm-hmm. They both come back for their senior year of college. Boom! They're in the same geographical area, so they're together, but not for long.
Oh.
Because 2 months into their senior year, Matthew leaves to go study anthropology all over the world, and he's going to be gone for 8 months.
Forget about the girl. I'm excited about this trip.
I know, that sounds so fabulous. But of course, for their relationship, it means that they're
not in the same geographical location.
They're not at all. Far from it. Game off. And he was still kind of getting used to the idea of this easy breezy arrangement because Sophia, they have a family home in Paris. She is much more worldly and was kind of raised with broader views of this type of thing. So he went along with it and he's trying to be cool with it, right? But this is fairly new to him, right? On this wonderful journey, he finds himself in Vienna without Sophia. She's still finishing up her senior year. He even starts to date somebody else because he can.
Oh.
Yeah. Until Sophia comes to visit. And then game on. He and Sophia are back again.
Well, game on for them and game off for the other girl.
Yeah, or the other game is paused.
Oh.
She's there for a week, and when she goes back home, game off and unpause the Vienna girl.
This is very technical.
It's very technical. It's very modern. He gets done with his world tour. He returns home from Europe. He graduates from college. But by the time they do all that, Sophia is off to grad school many, many states away.
Oh.
So no game on there.
No, game off.
I mean, maybe they, crushed a little candy around the graduation celebrations. What do you call a little game?
Quickie.
But, game is pretty off. She's gone. And he's not exactly sure what he wants to do with his life. So he's couch surfing and he gets a groovy little job hand painting tourist t-shirts for $1 a pop. And he does the math and he realizes that if he makes 100 of those t-shirts a day, he can make how many dollars a day, Bree?
100.
$100.
Yes.
That's right, a day. So he works his little tushy off, saves up enough money finally to head off to Europe. The travel bug has gotten him. And Bree, by this point, he has acquired another girlfriend in the States, and he's got to leave her behind. And she's going to come up again, so we're going to call her Franny. But he said that he and Franny were really chill, too. Like, she wanted to keep it casual. Like, they only date on Fridays.
Franny Friday?
Yes, you took the bait. Exactly, Franny Friday. Thank you. But they are planning for her to come meet up with him when he's in Barcelona.
Ooh, Barcelona.
That reminds me of Budapest. What's your favorite, Barcelona or Budapest? Paris?
So Franny's going to go meet him in Barcelona on a Friday.
Well, we hope it's on a Friday. Wait, what's she going to do on all the other days, I wonder? So in the meantime, he is having a ball bouncing around Europe with all his T-shirt money he's saved up. And he eventually makes his way over to Spain, where he's going to meet up with
Franny Friday.
That's right. But it's not Friday yet. Her visit is still a couple of weeks away. So he meets up with some old friends from school who are staying at a farmhouse in the countryside near Madrid.
Oh my God, what a life.
I know, right? We got to start making T-shirts.
We do.
Although this was in the 80s.
People can buy T-shirts. They can buy Awkward Sage T-shirts.
That's right.
And we get about $1 a pop for those, too.
That's right. So, Bree, they're at this farmhouse in the countryside near Madrid, and you've traveled bunches. For those of us who have not traveled to the countryside of Spain, I assumed you have. Don't tell me if you haven't. Could you tell us about it? I mean, I assume it's a lot like the countryside of France, but except with tortillas. What? It's okay if you've never been there. I just thought you had.
No, I have been there.
What's that?
It's the tortilla thing, Mendy.
What?
I'm guessing that you're saying that because of colonization? Because they colonized Mexico?
How many things do I say because of colonization? As hard as I try not to.
But it didn't work the other way around.
Darn it. No, I just thought Spanish culture went to
Mexico.
Other places.
Yeah.
And they took their tortillas.
Yeah, I think that tortillas, I might need to fact check this, but
I
I think
that
that
might be
tortillas
from
came from
ancient.
Mayan culture because they were corn first, right? And so corn would have been...
When I think of Spain, I don't think of corns.
As far as European countries go, Spain is a pretty big country. Let me see.
I saw it on a map.
On a map.
So
the weirdest thing, something that was awkward was, you may have had this when you lived in England because you were little, like preschool, kindergarten?
Preschool to kindergarten.
Okay. So when they show you like a globe, like you go to the planetarium.
Yeah.
And you see the globe.
Yeah.
The first time I saw it from the perspective that they show it to people in Europe, I was like, what is this Earth? Because I'm so used to seeing United States and South America and Canada. Like, I'm used to seeing the particular view of the globe that we always see.
Right.
But you're getting their view of the globe when you're there.
And Spain is super even more ginormous when Europeans look at it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's cool.
So the countryside of Spain is pretty vast. It's beautiful.
Like Italy with fewer noodles.
Like Italy with more sardines.
That's not the best way to say it.
But they're yummy. Tinned fish, Spanish tinned fish. They're a delicacy there.
Oh.
I know.
Well, one late afternoon, Matthew and his friends are sitting on this lovely terrace of this villa, watching the sunset, drinking their sangria, and eating their tapas and tinned fish, when they look out to the horizon. A tall, majestic silhouette of a woman with like flowy hair wafting in the breeze walks over the horizon in slow motion and up the driveway. Guess who?
The horizon. Sophia.
Yep, Sophia rolls up. Game on. She just decided to pop on over there and, see him in Spain. And after their reunion at the villa...
I just decided to pop on over and see you in Spain.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be lovely?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for what you're doing to the environment, Sophia. So, and after their little reunion at the villa, Sophia realizes, wow, she has some free time on her hands, and she and Matthew should totally go traveling a little bit together.
When is he meeting Franny?
Not yet. That's when he's meeting Franny.
Oh.
Not yet. But Franny's chill, right? So he and Sophia, they travel all over Europe. They have an amazing time, and they end up in Paris, back where she has her little pied-à-terre, a couple of days before he is to meet Franny in Barcelona. So, Bree, you have told me before that once you get your tail over to Europe, it's easy to bop all over the place. This guy is not a millionaire.
Right. He was selling T-shirts for $1 a pop.
Exactly. Will you tell us about the ease of travel once you get to Europe?
Yeah, it's kind of like crossing a state line. It's like states instead of countries.
Yeah, so it's no big deal for them to bop all around, and it's completely affordable.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And trains.
I wish we had more trains here because at 95 South, people are insane on 95 South. Good God.
Also, I think you said this took place in the 80s.
I did.
And back then, trains were really affordable, especially for young people, young adults.
Was there like a little program, like a little welfare program for young people to travel? No, seriously.
There was a travel welfare program, yes.
That is so European.
Right? They still have it, but it's not as good as it was. Yeah.
Wow. Just because it's good for them to learn about the world and to...
I don't know why.
Or to get their like snotty little asses out of my country, walk around in your weird clothes pulled up to your nips, your pants pulled all the way up to your nips.
Who does that?
Teenagers right now, they're all Egbert. They're pulling up their pants all the way. You've seen this. Walking around in those pajamas and those T-shirts that come down to your ankles. You need to get on over to Italy. We're sick of looking at it. So they're in Paris, and he's got to go see Franny. Friday's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And it is time to say adieu yet again. But by this point, this arrangement, this situation has started eating away at Matthew.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, what am I doing? I'm about to go to Barcelona to get busy with Franny this Friday. Am I a dog? The cognitive and penile dissonance of this whole I'm seeing someone right now, but not right now thing is starting to get to him. And he confesses this to Sophia. So they had the what exactly are we doing here conversation. You ever had to have one of those?
Oh, yep.
You gonna tell us about it?
You want me to tell you about it?
Mm-hmm.
When Jeff and I first started dating, he had not a girlfriend, but a woman who was definitely interested in him. So interested in him that she was sending him these hand-painted letters, like the envelopes were hand-painted.
Psycho.
It's a little psycho.
That's too much time on her hands.
They were beautiful. And so as I was hanging out in his room, I saw all these letters coming in, fresh, new letters coming in every week. And then one day he came to me and he said, hey, I just want you to know that this girl is coming to visit me here, and I'm going to break up with her, but I just wanted to let you know that she's going to come. And I knew which girl it was because I had seen all the letters, and I said, you're going to need to make a choice, because if she comes, even if you break up with her, we're done.
Yeah, that would have been a heck of a letdown for her if she was using all those calligraphy pens just like on the envelope. Oh boy.
Can you imagine traveling halfway up the country and whew,
Ouch. So
she did not come.
Yeah. Sometimes it's good to break up with somebody over the phone. If you're going to save them the trouble.
That's right. That's
And
right. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you for doing it. It was a wise move, I think. Good for me. I hope it was good for you. How about you, Mendy?
What? Have I what?
Have you ever had what exactly are we doing here?
Nope. I always make it clear exactly what we're doing there. And I let them know when I'm done doing it. So, that sounds really
You're clear.
naughty. I'm very hot or cold. I love with my heart all the way dangling all the way off of my sleeve. I can't do romance halfway. Absolutely not. So we all know what's going on there.
So gallivanting around with Sophia. Franny's coming on Friday. Where in the world are we right now?
We're in Paris when he decides to confess to her that he kind of can't do this anymore. He's starting to feel weird and he's just not feeling so great about it anymore. And he said there was a long night of tears and they did end up ending it for good. It was just unsustainable. They agreed to treasure the great memories of what they had had, but this had to be the end of the line for them. They needed to grow up. They wanted to be more sophisticated, to act like international adults and not just, little wild things running around bonking all the time,
Is this where the awkward moment comes in? Was this conversation?
No.
Okay.
That's not funny.
Okay.
He said it was a really tough, really just a hard night for both of them, a long, hard night. So,
yeah.
Early the next morning, he heads on to Barcelona. C'est fini. He's in Barcelona a couple of days where he's supposed to meet
Franny
Franny on a Friday at a place called the Magic Fountain. He goes there to meet her at their appointed date and time. Franny doesn't show.
Does he walk all around that fountain? Because that's a big fountain.
Is it a big fountain? I'm sure he checks because he's waiting there a really long time. And again, it's the 80s. There's no cell phones. There's no texting. Be like, hey, where are you? There's no WhatsApp or whatever you use when you're in other countries.
Mm-hmm.
International calls are expensive, right? When we were kids, we had to ask permission to call long distance.
Yeah. Remember how I lived way deep in the country? All of my friends were actually long distance for me. There was nobody.
No.
Everybody was long distance.
So you didn't get to have those hours-long phone conversations every
that's
afternoon.
Why I went to boarding school.
There you go. So they are actually communicating by postcards, which is super cute. He and all his friends, actually, that's how they're working out all these meetups and stuff.
Oh my gosh, we need to do that, Mendy.
We could send postcards, but not because it's something we need to do. If I want to tell you something, I got to tell you right now.
Yeah.
You can look later, but I need to know that next time you look at your phone, you're going to see it. I can't wait for a postcard.
So they're using these postcards.
They're using postcards to communicate. But she doesn't show, so he's got to go find a phone and call her long distance.
Where did he call?
I don't know, like a hotel or a payphone or
No. Where did he call? Did he call her home?
Yeah.
Okay. So he had to call back to the U.S.
That's the only place people had phones back then was at home.
I know. It's just, it's mind-boggling.
Yes. Okay, right. So he called her back in the States. She's not in Europe. She was just coming to Barcelona, as far as I know. So he gets her on the phone, and she's like, yeah, so my dad won't let me come over there. And this whole thing, it kind of feels like an escalation of our relationship, and I'm not ready for that. So that makes me wonder if, she was lying about her dad, if she thought she was going to work that angle.
Mendy, that feels like a pretty awkward moment to me.
Oh, does it now? This is just the tortilla, honey. Wait for the sardines. So Franny's not going to come.
What, she's not ready for a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday relationship? She can only do a Friday relationship?
That's right. And they're going to be in Europe. What's she going to do on all the other days? But poor Matthew, he's sitting in Barcelona. No girlfriend, no money, no job. He'd been thinking before this that maybe he'd stay in Europe and get a job on a boat. I would like to do that. I would want to do boat things. If doing boat things is sitting on a boat, getting a tan. But after this reality check, he's like, what the heck am I doing with my life? I need to figure my shit out.
Mm-hmm. He's right. He does. I'm sorry that she didn't show up, but he does need to figure his shit out.
Yep. His bubble is burst. And what do we do in these moments? Who do we call?
Ghostbusters.
Saul. No, we know who he calls. He calls Mom and says, I want to come home. And Mom actually has good news. One of his old professors from college reached out to her because the professor wants Matthew to be his assistant. This is great news for him.
That's awesome. Isn't it amazing when you hit rock bottom and then something really good happens? Like a little reminder, it's going to be okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
The glimmer. Don't we call those glimmers?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, although this is bigger than, this is like a disco ball, right? Yeah. This is exactly what he needed. And he needs to get home ASAP to get this gig. But he's down to the last of his t-shirt money. He can only afford a flight back to the U.S. that leaves out of Brussels, which is in Belgium. And now that he's thinking with his brain and not his heart, he can do math. Specifically, subtraction. My t-shirt money minus the flight home, the evenings in Tuscany, the sardines, the Spanish bread equals jack squat. He can't even afford to get to Brussels to make the flight. He is temporarily friendless because it takes a couple of days for a postcard to get to his globe-trotting compatriots, and broke. So he takes a look at his map.
Wait. If he's out of money, what was he planning to do with Franny?
I asked us to. Well, first of all, Franny only needs to be occupied on Fridays. We've got that. But really, he said that, remember, he spent all that money on a last-minute airplane trip.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And his heart had been full of hopes and dreams of going to work on the boat. But, you know, when you get that when your little hope bubble gets stabbed in the face, and so it's just time to go home.
Yeah.
Right? Once he was alone.
Go back for the job.
He's looking at the map. He's looking at the train schedule. Mm-hmm. He realizes he has just enough money to take a train to another city where one of his globe-trotting friends is living. He doesn't have enough time to send a postcard to warn them, but if they're home, they could definitely lend him the money to get the rest of the way to Brussels, and then he could pay him back later. And he's torn because this train ticket would be the very last of his cash. He is broke, rokety, broke, ass broke. Bree, he has been sleeping on park benches. He almost got mugged one night by Bartholonian bandits. He has been living off of one loaf of bread for 2 days. So he decides to roll the dice, and he spends the last of his money on that ticket. He has no choice but to show up on his friend's doorstep to ask for the money to get him to Brussels, and on that flight back home to make it to the first day of a new chapter in his life.
All right.
And it's a long train ride all through the night. His belly is grumbling. His bread is all gone. By the time the train makes it there, it's early morning, like 5 a.m., the shittiest hour of the day.
I like 5 a.m., but okay, it's shitty to him.
When was the last time you got up at 5 a.m.?
Couldn't tell you.
See, I anxiety wake at 5 a.m. on accident. Mm-hmm. That's why it's the shittiest hour of the day. It's 5 a.m. He disembarks from the train, walks the long trek to his friend's place. As the sun just starts to peek over the horizon, he trudges along with only a backpack and a map to his name, up the staircase to his friend's door. But it's too early to bother them. He doesn't want to wake them up. So he slides down the wall outside their door and waits for hours. Around 9, he finally stands up and knocks. The door opens. Guess who it is?
Sophia.
It's Sophia! And she's a wreck. She has mascara smeared down her face. Her hair is all janked up. She's obviously been up all night. And behind her, he sees her best friend, Lisa, shooting hot red eye lasers at him. Lisa, who had always had a crush on Sophia. Bree. Sophia had called her bestie when she and Matthew had ended things and Lisa had rushed to her side. They had been up all night drowning Sophia's sorrows and shit-talking Matthew. And here he was, groveling at her doorstep. Could I borrow some money to get to Brussels?
Well, that was awkward.
Oh my God.
He's brave.
Yeah, he is very, very brave. So what happened?
Well, Lisa was dangerous, he said, but she did not kill him. And Sophia ended up loaning him the money. And he got back to the States just in time to make his gig. And of course, he did pay Sophia back. A year or so passes. He's working for the professor. She's doing her thing. And they had stayed in touch from a distance, just friends. And Matthew gets into grad school on the West Coast eventually. And he and his buddies are planning to make it an opportunity to do a cross-country road trip, as you do. And they're super excited. And the morning they're embarking on their last adventure before they disperse off to whatever their lives are going to become, they're packing up the little car for the trip. They're ready for an all-dudes, one last hurrah type adventure when over the horizon,
Oh my
they
God.
see...
She won't quit, Sophia.
Yep. Any room for me? Game on. They have a great time on Route 66. But once they arrive on the West Coast, where she is working, when they are only a bay away from one another, they really don't see each other at all.
Mm-hmm.
For years. It's done. He did go on to meet his future wife, who, of course, erased all lingering tinglies for Sophia. And he actually introduced them to each other, Sophia and his future wife.
Mm-hmm. How'd that go?
Well, Sophia was still like, game on, but the arcade was closed.
Game over.
So, Mendy, did Matthew have any advice for people who are in a similar situation?
Yes, sometimes you need to let the flame die. But also you need to keep your options open.
I don't think he learned. I don't think he learned from this.
What would you have done in that situation?
Oh, okay. So I'm going to narrow down the situation because there's so many places where I would have done things differently that it would start with playing basketball. Would not have played basketball. I'll just stop there. I would not have played basketball.
I would not have played basketball, so I would have never gotten into this situation. You would not have played basketball, even if Brad Pitt were playing basketball.
Nope. I would have watched. How about you, Mendy?
But no, you haven't answered the question.
Ooh.
You're in a situation where you just broke up with someone.
You're taking me to the end.
But you've got no money, and they're the only person that you know exactly where they are. Do you go borrow the money from them?
I think when we consider that he traveled to another country to meet with a fresh ex to get some cash,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I could do that.
I don't think I could either.
I think I would probably go around to restaurants and see if I could wash dishes for the night or something to...
Oh, God, oh, God. And the flight has a certain date and time that he has to be there by. He needs that money quick. But yeah, I guess you could make some good money dishwashing.
I would have still bought the ticket. If I'm being real honest, I'd probably call my mom and be like, can you spot me some money and wire it to me? You got to think ahead, though. Can you wire it to me at this bank tomorrow? That's when I would call my mom.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah. How about you?
Oh my God, I wouldn't ask the ex for money either. There's no way. I have way too much pride. Oh my God. I would have become a woman of the night.
Oh, Mendy, it's so much easier to call your mom. That is hard work.
Yeah, it is.
What about Dana? Could Dana get you out of this one?
I don't think Dana could keep me from asking for that money, but my cousin Dana really needs this money because she needs to have something replaced, something on her body that's really important. But I'd have to think really hard about what it is because I don't want whatever organ I pick, I don't want my organs to pick up the karma of my lie about Dana.
Karma may get you with Dana.
With Dana. I want my Dana to do no harm. Dana is there to ease the discomfort.
Right. And how would you rate this on a scale of 1 to 10?
Oh my God, this is a 10. Oh my gosh, somebody you just broke up with and you show up a couple of days later needing to borrow some money. Oh my God, that is awful. Yeah, that's a 10. What do you think?
It's a 10 for me, too.
Man.
Matthew, thank you so much for being the dog that you were.
No, don't say
A
that.
cute dog, a puppy dog, cute dog.
There was an arrangement.
Lovable.
They had an
Well,
arrangement.
I don't understand why dog has to be a bad thing.
Oh, goodness.
Before we start packing for our trip, Mendy, can we leave these folks with a song?
Yeah, something for the road. Matthew traveled all over the world.
Kept coming back to the very same girl.
And every time they gave it a whirl.
Well, that was awkward. So if you're a traveling Romeo,
Be careful when you let the girl go.
you just might need to borrow some dough.
Bree, can I have $1?
No. Well, that was awkward.
What the heck?
You can have $1.
God, I just want a Diet Coke. Damn.
This has been an Awkward Sage production.